What's going on, guys, and welcome to the second installment of our at-home bodyweight workouts. Hope you guys enjoyed workout number 1 the other day, so you're ready to come back here for number 2. Similar to workout number 1, we're going to go through 3 circuits, do a total of 8 exercises in groups of 3, 3, 2. We're going to do a little bit of everything like we did on Tuesday, and we're going to have some fun with it. Today we're going to start off with our first circuit of 3 exercises. We're going to do alternating single leg squats, Russian twists, as well as what's called an inchworm walk. So let's go ahead and get into it, do our first 3 exercises here. Ready to go? Let's do it. For a single leg alternating squat, similar to a normal squat, except this time we're going to do it single leg. I'm going to turn to the side here a little bit so you get a better profile of it. Standing nice and tall and straight, you're going to lift one leg off the ground, balancing on that other foot. So in this case, I'm obviously balancing on my right foot here. For the squat, you're just going to squat down, pushing that foot back as a counterbalance, leaning your arms forward as low as you can go. Keep that balance nice over that foot. Try to keep that knee in line. Stand back up tall. You can set that foot down if you need to reset. If not, keep that balance up for added difficulty. Squat back down, reach out, keep that nice balance over that foot, push through the whole foot, stand back up. After we finish the reps, we switch feet. Now our left foot's down, our right foot is up. Similarly, squat down, reach out, and back up, okay? If that's too difficult, you can do just a single leg balance. Try to lift that leg out behind you and tilt forward just a little bit. Keep that balance on that foot. Try to do that for about 30 seconds on each foot. Okay. Next up, we have our Russian twist. This is a nice core movement. What you're going to do is from a seated position here, you're going to lift your feet up off the ground in a nice kind of V formation here, and holding your hands, or again, holding a weight. You're just going to keep them right here, and all you're going to do is twist your torso left to right, left shoulder to right shoulder. Don't need to overextend it. That brings our back into play and can cause a lot of torsion in the back. Just a nice twist, 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 twist. If that's too difficult, keep your feet on the ground, but you want to keep that back and chest nice and straight, twisting side to side, engaging that core, really keeping that nice and braced side to side. If your feet are up off the ground, they are going to swing back and forth kind of the opposite way. As you turn left, your legs will move to the right. Opposite, move your legs to the left, your arms will move to the right. Okay. The last thing we got in our first circuit is called an inchworm walk. So we're going to start from a standing position. Bend over. You're just going to kind of walk your hands out. You're going to keep walking until you get into a high plank like you would for a push-up, and then walk yourself back. You want to try to get at least 5 steps out, 5 steps back. Okay? Okay? Keeping that core nice and braced. Try to keep your body from swaying back and forth. Try to keep that body nice and braced through the core. Doing a nice, tight walk straight out. Keep those hips in line. Back in. If you can get your hands in further to your feet, that makes it more difficult. If you can't, try to get out as far as you can and as close to your body as you can into that nice tall plank, and really feel that good core burn. All right. Those are the first 3 exercises in our first circuit. We got our single leg squat. You're going to do 12 rounds on each side, then going right into our Russian twist, where you're doing 18 twists on each side, and finishing it up with an inchworm walk, where you're going to do 6 walk out and walk backs. Okay? At the end of round 1, take a 2 to 3 minute break, repeat the circuit, take another 2 to 3 minute break, repeat the circuit one more time for 3 total rounds, take our longer break, and we'll catch you in circuit number 2. Thanks. All right, welcome back to round number 2, guys. Hopefully the first circuit didn't kill you too much, and you're ready to go for our second circuit here. Now this time, I know it's all body weight and you can still do body weight. For this one, I'm gonna introduce a little bit of weight. I've got a backpack here and some old paperweights, books that we're gonna throw in the backpack for a little bit of extra weight, make it a little bit more challenging this time around. I'll go ahead and 3 of these textbooks in here. I haven't used them in a while. They've basically been paperweights for a couple of years. Now they'll be useful. All right. For circuit number 2, our 3 exercises that we're going to go through are going to be standing, bent over rows. We're going to do our forward lunge and overhead press, similar to what we did the other day with a little bit of a change to it. And then the last thing we're going to do is our normal push-ups. All right? You ready? Let's get going. Again, you don't need a weight for these, but I'm going to use it just as an added demonstration because the increased weight is going to add an extra degree of difficulty. For our bent over rows, if you're not using any weight, you're just going to push your hips back into a nice hinge position, keeping that back and that chest nice and straight. All the weight should be over your hips and over your trunk. You shouldn't feel any pain in your lower back. It should just all be pretty even. Arms standing down at the side, you can do your clenched fists, or again, this is where you would hold your weight. Palms facing in, and all you're going to do is retract those elbows right into the sides. Nice, good contraction. Feel those shoulder blades coming together into a nice tight row. If you're using a backpack or using a bag, holding it on either end, top and bottom. Shake it to kind of distribute the weight a little bit evenly there. Same kind of concept. Your palms are facing in. You're pulling that backpack right in, getting a nice contraction when you're pulling those elbows in. Those elbows are coming in nice and tight to the side. You don't want them flaring out. We want them nice and tight to the side. It's going to work that middle back right between those shoulder blades. All right. Moving on, we're going to do our forward lunge and overhead press. The overhead press, we're going to do single arm. On Tuesday, we did double arm. So when we did our forward lunge, we stepped and pressed with both arms. This time, we're going to press with one arm at a time. We're going to press with the arm of the leg that's back, okay? Not the leg that's forward, the leg that's back. It's going to keep our counterbalance, make our core work a little bit more. If you're using a bag, or in this case a backpack, hold it by the handle. I keep the weight on the outside of my forearm, keeps the forearm nice and straight. It's just out of the way, a little more comfortable, okay? Standing with our feet together, we take that step forward, and as we drop down, we press that weight straight up, okay? Back to start. Step out as we lower, press up, come down as we step back. Okay? We'll do our reps on one side, then we switch hands with that weight. Step forward and down. Again, this arm can be out like an airplane to keep you balanced. You can just keep it at your side. You can flail it around for extra stability, balance challenges, all that kind of stuff. You do whatever you want with this other arm. Focus in on using that weight through that arm, whether it's a backpack, a book, canned goods, or nothing. The focus is that nice stability through that leg that's planted, keeping that core nice and braced and tall, and pressing through that shoulder straight up and down. All right? Now our last thing on this is our standard push-ups. We've done these before, but as an extra refresher, if you need to, you can start off in that nice tall tabletop position. Walk your feet out a little bit into a high plank. You can have your feet together, farther apart. That part's pretty much up to you for comfort. You want to keep that core nice and tight, that body, that nice tall bridge, nice straight line from shoulders through hips to feet. Hands underneath our shoulders, and all you're going to do is lower yourself towards the ground as far as you can and press back up. Okay? If you need to, you can drop to your knees. If you're on your knees, make sure you still kind of push yourself a little bit forward. Get a nice tall plank, that nice straight line from shoulders through hips to knees. Go down and back up. Now you don't want your elbows, one word of advice is you don't want your elbows flaring straight out to the side. Flaring those elbows straight out to the side puts a lot of stress on that shoulder joint. You want to try to drop it down to about 45-degree angle. That's going to be it's going to alleviate the stress on that shoulder. You're going to get a nice, good contraction. Okay? That's our 3 exercises for circuit number 2. We've got our Standing. What we got? There's, standing bent over rows. We've got our lunge and overhead press, and we've got our push-ups. We got 3 rounds. You're doing 15 of the bent over rows. We're gonna do 8 on each side of the lunge and overhead press, as well as 10 push-ups. Again, take that 2 to 3 minute break after each round. 3 rounds, and we'll catch you in just a couple minutes for that last little superset. If you're still watching, I'm guessing you made it through circuit 2, and hope you're feeling pretty good. Let's get into it. We got our last 2 exercises. We're gonna do these in a little superset, back and forth for 3 more rounds. We got our simple body weight squat and plank from our elbows, all right? Pretty simple. Let's knock it out. Let's finish it strong. So as a reminder, I'm gonna grab the book bag as our added weight resistance to show you for that. Again, we've got our books in here for added weight. If you want, you can just strap up and keep that on like a normal backpack. That's just gonna be added weight on your back. Or if you want to get fancy with it, you can hold it in front of you. That's going to add the weight on your front. It alleviates your back a little bit more. If you have lower back problems or you're feeling a little tight back there and you still want to use that weight, try holding it in the front. That's going to alleviate that lower back. But I'm going to keep it on the back because I'm just going to keep it on for the squats and for the planks. All right? So similar to the other day when we did our squat jumps, we're going to take our feet about shoulder width apart, toes pointing slightly out, body nice and straight, dropping those hips, bending those knees, standing straight back up. Nice and smooth, nice and even, feel pressing through the floor with our whole foot as we press that floor down to stand up nice and tall, okay? One more down and back up. From the side, it should look something like this. Squat down and back up, okay? Awesome. From there, we're getting into our plank. Now we've already done a number of these with our inchworm and with our push-ups from that tall plank position, so our arms and our shoulders are going to feel pretty tired, but this time we're going to do it from our elbows. If you feel like your elbows are too easy and you want to pop back up into that tall plank, that's perfectly fine. But from here, we're going to drop onto our elbows. Our elbows should be directly underneath our shoulders, lifting up onto our toes, keeping a nice, tight, straight line from our head, through our shoulders, through our hips, through our knees, and to our feet. And we're just going to hold that. Now, again, from the side, elbows underneath shoulders, body up in a nice tight line. Our core is braced. We're feeling that nice tight burn, sucking that belly button up to our spine, keeping it nice and tight. We got 3 rounds of that. We're doing 15 of our squats along with 45-second planks. Now, if you can't get to 45 seconds, do as many as you can and take a break if you need to, but continue on until that 45-second mark. If you don't have a timer available, like on your phone or clock or watch or something, do a count, but if you're gonna count manually, count to 50. The speed in which we count is usually a little bit faster than a timer because we wanna get done faster. I've done it myself. So if you're counting yourself, add about 5 or 10 more seconds onto it. Again, if you feel like you can go a little bit longer, push yourself a little bit longer till that minute mark or a little bit further even if you feel that. Take about a minute and a half rest on this one. This last superset's not as taxing as the first 2 circuits, so shorter break, finish up strong, and we'll see you here for workout number 3. Bye guys.